on CBDC. In closing, I would just say that Project e-Hong Kong Dollar is a hugely complex and challenging undertaking. I said earlier that the project goes well beyond just technology. It will take our collective wisdom and effort to create innovative use cases so that in the end, if e-Hong Kong Dollar were implemented in Hong Kong, we hope to see widespread adoption so that it can achieve the network effects that's required of any successful retail payment instruments. And again, that is going to be a long and winding road. But as the Chinese saying goes, 千里之行始於足下. 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And we are very grateful that you have all chosen to join us to take this important first step in this meaningful e-Hong Kong Dollar journey. I know you're all eagerly waiting to hear about the potential use cases, so I should really step down and let you enjoy the presentations by our groups. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eddie. May I actually ask you to please come back on stage? And may I also please ask Mr. Howard Lee, Deputy Chief Executive of the HKMA, Mr. Colin Pao, Executive Director for Financial Infrastructure, to come on stage to take a picture with our distinguished guests. So our distinguished guests, please approach the stage as I call your names. Ms. Luan Lim, Chief Executive of HSBC Hong Kong. Mr. Sun Yu, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive of Bank of China Hong Kong. Ms. Diana Caesar, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of Hang Seng Bank. Mr. Zhang Jun, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive of China Construction Bank Asia. Mr. Stephen Mann, Managing Director and Head of Consumer, Private and Business Banking at Standard Chartered Hong Kong. Ms. Susanna Hui, Group Managing Director of Hong Kong Telecom. Ms. Shirley Yu, Group Country Manager of Visa Greater China. Mr. Simon Chung, Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Fubon Bank. Ms. Helena Chen, Managing Director of Hong Kong and Macau at MasterCard. Mr. Ronald Yu, Executive Director and Chief Executive at ZA Bank. Ms. Jennifer Tan, Chief Executive Officer at Alipay Hong Kong. Mr. Wang Xiaoming, Deputy Chief Executive Officer and Chief Information Officer at ICBC Asia. Mr. Brooks Entwistle, Senior Vice President of Global Customer Success and Managing Director for APAC and MENA at Ripple. Mr. Peter Wu, Co-Chief Executive of Artai Mali. And last but not least, Ms. Polly Boimler, Sales Director, CBDC APAC at GND. Sorry, I missed one last one. Mr. Hans-Paul Bürkner, Global Chair Emeritus at the Boston Consulting Group. Thank you very much. Now please look at the back at the media. First on the left. Yeah, please everyone sit down. And also lower your phone if you can. Okay. Now we can look in the middle. And now to the right. Thank you very much, everyone. Please, you can return to your seats. And now, let's begin with the presentations. As Eddie mentioned, the 14 pilots will span across 6 major categories. We will hear about these 6 categories one by one. with participants presenting in alphabetical order within their categories. We will start with the use cases on programmable payments. The first company to present is Alipay Hong Kong. Mr. Kelvin Lee, Head of Global Fund Management at Ant International, will talk about the integration of the EHKD with smart contracts. Please join me welcoming Mr. Lee on stage.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So my name is Kelvin Lee. So today I'm here together with my colleague from Alipay Hong Kong Wallet and Ant Group to share with our solutions on programmable payment. Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank HKMA to select us to participate in the e-Hong Kong dollar pilot program. So as active participants in Hong Kong's fintech development, we are very excited to see that Hong Kong launched this e-HKT program. So in our pilot solutions, we want to solve real-world pain points. In particular, we aim to solve two areas of problems. One is in government payout. The second one is in commercial coupon. So we see many potential values of these two areas. Firstly, in government payout, so it can greatly increase the efficiencies of disbursement, and also with the purpose-bounded function, the e-Hong Kong dollar or programmable payment and the e-Hong Kong dollar, the usage can be controlled precisely and easily traceable and reduce misuse. Secondly, for commercial coupon, well, big companies are very easy to manage a marketing campaign with commercial coupon. Well, small and medium companies will find it very challenging, very costly for them to do it. So with this e-Hong Kong dollar solution, that we are going to do programmable payments in which we believe the programmability in retail CBDC, it is possible to allow small and medium companies to run a commercial coupon in a marketing campaign much efficiently and a much lower cost. I think this will allow them to precisely aim their target users and also be able to evaluate the marketing result easily. In addition to this program, we also see Hong Kong as a hub of financial information, financial innovation. CBDC will be one of the key infrastructures of future financial industry. So through the project, with the knowledge and experience, we can incubate industry standard technology protocols for retail CBDC, which can be prosper in Hong Kong, which can also be prosper globally, for example, in cross-border payment in the future. So for us, we're also an active player of cross-border payments from China to Hong Kong and globally. We hope this technology incubated over here can also apply to other countries in cross-border payments. This will further enhance, we believe, Hong Kong's position as a leading global financial center for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Next, let's invite Mr. Peter Wu, Co-Chief Executive of Arta Mali Hong Kong. He will talk about cash management and payment for liquid balance. Please welcome Mr. Wu.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, today we introduce the Arta Mali e-Hong Kong dollar solution, addressing e-Hong Kong dollar for cash management and payment for retail liquid balance. So the question is, why e-Hong Kong dollar? Retail customers leave small balance in bank account or payment apps. Earning minimal interest, e-Hong Kong dollar offer a solution. Through smart contract, retail customer can earn competitive interest on their liquid balance. Here, e-Hong Kong dollar is, e-Hong Kong dollar is crucial for retail customer because it revolutionized traditional paper bills. With e-Hong Kong dollars, customer can hold it as a bearer instrument or under digital identity. Smart contract record digital identities, enable customer to benefit. How does e-Hong Kong dollar work with liquid balance? 1. Customer begin with a transfer message. Customer provide instruction. Based on these instructions, the smart contract identifies suitable investment opportunity. Second, e-Hong Kong dollar is transferred to chosen fund house and market. These entities invest e-Hong Kong dollar and generate interest income. Fourth and finally, e-Hong Kong dollar is returned to retail customers. This seamless process eliminates inefficiency of traditional money. Manual transactions cause significant costs, incur significant costs. And while smart contract enables straight-through processing, reducing friction costs and promoting financial inclusion, e-Hong Kong dollars empower retail customers with more choice, adding value for them. In summary, our innovation focus on smart contract-based cash management and incorporate open and portable digital identity and credential systems, streamlining customer onboarding, privacy-preserving interactions, protect customer identities. In conclusion, e-Hong Kong dollar smart contracts unlock the monetary potential of liquid balance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Now, Bank of China's Deputy Chief Executive, Mr. Chan Man, will present on the prepayment ecosystem. Let's welcome Mr. Chan.
尊敬的于总裁，各位嘉宾，大家下午好。非常高兴参与今天数码港元先导计划的启动仪式，代表中银香港与各位分享对于数字港元未来发展的愿景和规划。中银香港一直积极推动数码货币的研究工作，基于对数字货币未来发展的信心，我们会将以累积的经验用到本次数码港元的场景应用当中。我们特别关注到香港传统零售行业当中的痛点，例如我们叫的预缴式的方式的一个消费。众所周知，零售商家都希望通过预缴式的消费，俗称广东话叫做买套票，普通话叫做买套票的方式，提升客户忠诚度和客户的粘性。由于商户可以独立使用客户的预缴资金，商户遇到经营的困难的时候，客户和收单银行有可能面对经济的选择的风险。此外，也有不同行业的小商户，虽然也希望能建立自己的会员预缴的模式，但是在客户短时间之内没能对小商户长期建立一个信心，也是一个挑战。部分的小商户也未必有额外的资源能投放到提升会员的系统的功能，最终无法推出会员储值的消费服务。因此，中银香港希望通过本次的场景的验证，利用数码港元的技术优势，革新传统的买套票的方式，协助商户提升其客户忠诚度和客户的粘度。中银香港本次推出的数码港元的解决方案，致力于帮助零售的商户与客户重新打造一种资金安全、体验便利、灵活开放的预缴消费的一种消费模式。在这种新的商业模式之下，客户进行会员的储值消费之后，方案会为商户实现资金规范化的运作管理，尤其是在客户储出的资金与商户的营运资金之间形成一道防火墙。同时，通过交易数据的把握，银行能够把握商户的经营情况，准确预判商户未来的资金流向，为商户提供及时的经营的营运资金的支持。总括而言，本行构思的这种革新的预缴消费商业的模式，有助建立客户对于预缴消费模式的信心，也可促进香港零售行业实现预缴消费模式的良性循环。商户愿意为忠诚度的客户提供最优惠的消费的价格，会员客户也愿意与商户进行预缴的储出的消费的一个模式。我们希望数码港元2轨道的验证顺利启动， 并探索出真实有价值的商业应用，为促进数字货币以至香港经济蓬勃的发展做出贡献。谢谢各位。
Thank you very much, Mr. Chan. Next, Ms. Annie Chen, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of China Construction Bank Asia, will illustrate the integration between EHKD and smart contracts. Please welcome Ms. Chen.
Hi, everyone. This is our pleasure for CCB Asia to be shortlisted in joining the e-Hong Kong Dollar private pilot program. Thank you once again, Hong Kong MA, in believing in us and choosing us. 我嚟緊會用廣東話。大家好，好高興咧，今日咧參與數碼港元嘅項目。金管局咧喺舊年咧、去年咧推出數碼港元先導計劃嘅時候咧，有兩個核心嘅資格評選準則。第一個就係創新前沿，第二係以客戶為中心。建行亞洲作為先導計劃嘅參與銀行之一，我哋嘅應用方案係利用數碼港元可以編程嘅特性同埋智能合約嘅方法咧，係解決預繳式消費嘅服務場景。咁預繳式消費嘅痛點而家係資金缺乏管理啦，個人嘅權益咧亦都好難攞到保障嘅。咁預繳式消費咧，其實咧喺香港咧已經存在咗好耐，客戶一次性大額消費攞特別折扣，而商戶咧亦都藉此咧同客戶咧加深佢嘅黏性，做好客戶管理嘅關係。咁但係預繳式消費喺而家嘅市場上邊咧，其實存在咗咧唔少嘅問題。咁例如人客要好好保存個合約作為付款證據啦，終止消費咧亦都係好難嘅。有時消費者亦都會因為咧商戶突然之間嘅結業咧，面對重大嘅金錢損失。咁呢種種嘅擔心咧，其實令到大家對預繳式消費嘅模式咧望而卻步，而享受唔到咧佢本身應有嘅好處。咁針對呢個痛點，我哋提出用數碼港元部署智能合約嘅解決方法，即係話咧消費者揀定產品服務，佢哋可以揀用數碼港元俾錢。並且咧，利用數碼港元智能合約嘅條件進行咧呢個資金嘅監管。咁當滿足到個條件嘅時候咧，就先至放款俾個商戶。咁打個比喻啦，大家咧都會去做 gym 嘅，或者去買下啲課堂咁樣樣。咁如果係以數碼港元俾錢嘅時候咧，應用智能合約呢一個功能就可以設定為每次俾一個課堂完成之後咧，先至放款俾嗰個商戶。咁對客戶嚟講咧，就係最有保障。數碼港元咧，智能合約嘅功能透明可信啦，亦都係有自動執行嘅優點嘅。咁可以解決到咧預繳式消費場景咧一路長久以嚟互信嗰個問題，亦都隨住咧建立一個良好嘅信貸環境、生態環境咧，預繳式消費嘅有效性咧可以得到好顯著嘅提升，亦都係咧幫助一啲誠信經營嘅商戶咧擴大佢哋嘅客戶基礎，最終咧係實現呢一個穩定嘅發展。咁未來咧，建行亞洲亦都會繼續借助母行嘅經驗啦，根據數碼港元嘅優點同埋特性咧，探索更加多嘅多元化嘅場景。咁數碼港元，我哋認為唔單止咧係一個金融科技產品，更加咧係一個咧可以改變咧我哋生活方式嘅創新。咁未來咧將會咧喺香港扮演一個重要嘅角色。我哋希望通過數碼港元啦，解決咧客戶日常生活面對嘅痛點，為人客咧帶嚟更加好嘅體驗，最後亦都為香港嘅金融科技咧注入新嘅動力。多謝大家。
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Now let's invite Mr. Gilbert Lee, Hang Seng Bank's Head of Strategy, Planning, and Chief of Staff to the Chief Executive. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Lee.
Thank you. This is Gilbert representing Hang Seng Bank. Hang Seng is committed to supporting the EHKD initiatives by the Hong Kong MA, and we are very excited to participate in the EHKD pilot program. So, simply put, what will we do? Hang Seng Bank will do 3 deliverables for 2 of our 3 EHKD use cases. First deliverable, Hang Seng will issue programmable tokens. We create a private chain to support programmable smart contract features in the tokens. Second deliverable, Hang Seng will create an eHKD token wallet. The wallet will store, manage, transfer, and enable peer-to-peer payment of eHKD. Third deliverable, we will live test 2 use cases. First use case, merchant reward program. Merchants, such as shops and restaurants, can now distribute discount coupons and reward vouchers in the form of eHKD tokens. They can program all terms and conditions, for example, expiry dates and daily limits, onto the tokens. Second use case, government grants disbursement. Government or public organizations can distribute subsidies in real time, for example, continuing education funds or elderly healthcare vouchers to the targeted beneficiary in the form of eHKD tokens. All terms and conditions, again, for example, limiting the use in education centers or medical centers, can be programmed into the tokens flexibly. When will the pilots be ready? Hang Seng started exploring and preparing for the eHKD use cases since early 2022. So our use cases are in advanced stage. And in September, 4 months from now, Hang Seng shall conduct the live test I just mentioned with our partners, merchants, consumers, and public organizations. The use cases offer huge benefits. It saves cost and lead time for public organizations and merchants by streamlining rewards and subsidies distribution, reaching target beneficiaries seamlessly. It also allows much more convenience and flexibility for consumers and individuals in receiving and consuming the subsidies and rewards. All in all, it saves time, improves efficiency, and adds intelligence to the end-to-end payment experience. Hang Seng believes that eHKD will unlock an innovative and seamless payment journey. For Hang Seng's third use case, our partner Visa will share more details in the coming sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. These are all very interesting use cases on programmable payments. We have 5 more categories of use cases to cover. In the next 2 presentations, we will cover 2 of them. Mr. Bojan Obradovic, Chief Digital Officer at HSBC, will present on full-fledged payments. And Mr. Nishin Sanghavi, Head of Digital Currencies APAC of Visa, will talk about tokenized deposit. Let's welcome Mr. Obradovic.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bojan Obradovic. I'm the Chief Digital Officer for HSBC in Hong Kong. I'm really excited to meet all of you in this wonderful event and excited to take part in what's about to embark in this journey. As the Bank of Hong Kong, we're delighted to participate in and thankful to the HKMA for selecting us to be part of this pilot program. And we're delighted to experiment with new forms of digital money. This is an opportunity for us in Hong Kong to advance capabilities incrementally in terms of embracing new horizons with respect to Web3 developments and building those incremental capabilities that are going to be needed for us to build competitiveness in an emerging digital and tokenized economy. HSBC has, over the number of years, experimented with CBDCs across a number of different jurisdictions, including in Hong Kong, where we have been a part of the Enbridge pilots on the wholesale CBDCs. And we're looking forward to continuing with experimentations and actually piloting on Enbridge in the coming months and years. We're delighted to announce today, as part of our retail eHKD pilot program, that we're going to participate in 2 distinct initiatives. first initiative, we are building an EHKD ecosystem at the HKUST campus, where we're going to facilitate hundreds and potentially even in future thousands of real transactions to determine the unique benefits, improve the unique benefits of an EHKD proposition. Second, we're going to partner with Visa and Hang Seng to experiment with tokenized deposits as an alternate means for us to issue digital currencies, specifically focusing on understanding the interoperability, the necessary technical capabilities, and understanding what are the unique features and actually challenges of this type of digital currency issuance. I will leave to our partners from Visa to elaborate further on that initiative. What I'll spend the next 1 minute on is talk about the initiative at HKUST. There are 3 hypotheses that we're going to look to prove in the coming months as part of our pilot. We're building an ecosystem where hundreds of participants at the HKUST University campus and a number of merchants are going to participate, and hundreds and potentially, as I said, in future, thousands of transactions will take place, where the following 3 hypotheses will look to be proven. Number 1, we believe that an EHKD has potential to address various types of fraud that's happening in the existing payment systems in Hong Kong. The unique features of programmable money allow us to issue tokens and transfer them or move them or perform payments under specified terms and conditions, which would then is a capability that would allow us to expand this across various types of fraud scenarios, including online, cash on delivery, and even the mortgage scenario that's happened recently in Hong Kong. Secondly, as our colleagues in Hang Seng have also described, we believe that we can offer a more seamless discount and reward mechanism by giving merchants the ability to issue these rewards via EHKD, but also the consumers the ability to have an all-inclusive ecosystem. And third, CBDCs promise a more efficient payment rail because the blockchain technology that underlines all of this gives us more ability to automate instead of run batch jobs, and also perhaps remove some of the intermediaries in the supply chain. Can these efficiency gains translate into savings that we can pass on to the consumers and merchants, and therefore offer a lower fee that would actually make EHKD a more beneficial proposition? We are really excited about the tokenized deposit and EHKD initiatives. These findings in the next few months are going to really give us insights that are needed to develop the next steps that are going to be appropriate for Hong Kong, and we're honored to be a part of this journey with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Obradovic, and apologies for my mother tongue's influx on your name. Now it's the turn of Mr. Sanghavi, so please let's welcome him on stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nischint Sanghvi. I take care of our digital currency business at Asia Pacific for Visa. Thank you, HKMA, for inviting us today and selecting Visa as a participant for the EHKD pilot program. It's also a great honor for us to be here among our industry peers as we all look for compelling use cases for EHKD Hong Kong CBDC development. These developments will be critical to understand and develop and accelerate the digital economy for Hong Kong. We are excited to take part in the pilot with a view of exploring the feasibility of tokenized bank deposits, which includes the digital settlement of these tokenized bank deposits. Our hypothesis is that tokenized bank deposits can offer efficiency in the form of money movement, as well as utilizing the latest innovations within the digital currency ecosystem. We would like to use this opportunity for the pilot to prove this hypothesis and also learn from that and understand the different scenarios of money movement. We would like to test out for an interbank money movement scenario as well as intra-bank money movement scenarios. We are pleased to collaborate with HSBC as well as Hong Kong Hang Seng Bank to plan the next phase of the EHKD pilot program in the coming months. These two leading financial institutions will test extensively the use cases which will enable us to jointly explore the feasibility and the viability of tokenized bank deposits. Learning by doing is a critical element for CBDCs today. Hence, involvement in this pilot will provide us with the understanding, the trade-offs, and the benefits for CBDCs, as well as get us to design the right CBDC in future. We look forward to celebrating and sharing a lot of these observations in the near future as we develop the EHKD pilot program. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sangawi. Now, digital money is usually used for online payments, but a central bank digital currency may also be used for offline payments, like a digital complement to banknotes. Let us next hear from Mr. Vincent Law, Vice Head of Operations Management at ICBC Asia, who will talk about offline payments. Let's welcome Mr. Law.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. ICBC Asia is honored to participate in the e-Hong Kong dollar pilot program. And thank you for HKMA for inviting us to present our use case today. Nowadays, in the Hong Kong retail market, there's still many cash and check transactions. Many small shops, wet market, cash donations, or even riding a taxi, we are still using a lot of cash. And there are, from the customer side as well, the elderly customers may not be familiar with use of mobile device. And for the younger students, they may not have a mobile device themselves. And there are some places without a mobile network to support electronic payments. Our use case will introduce the use of this e-Hong Kong dollar card with the NFC function, offline payment, balance displays, payment limit, and easy top-up. Let's go through a simple example to illustrate the benefits. After the customer has purchased some goods in the shop or riding a taxi, the staff will input the payment amount in the shop's mobile device. Instead of using cash, an elderly customer will just tap his e-Hong Kong dollar card near to the shop's mobile device, and the payment will be completed instantly. And what's more, the elderly customer can check the balance displayed on the e-Hong Kong dollar card to ensure that the correct amount has been debited. And you can see that the flow is simple, fast, and secure. And there are other benefits as well. For example, all the existing merchants with the POS machines with NFC function can support e-Hong Kong dollar card payment. And it will help the small shops and taxi driver to reduce their cash processing time and cost as well. And they will no longer have to worry about where to keep their cash. And in the schools, the students can use the physical card to pay for the miscellaneous fees in schools, and their parents will no longer need to write checks for them. And we will provide a tool for the school staff to perform the reconciliation, and this will help them to reduce the time for counting the cash and checks. Going forward, we will perform more analysis on the use case and work together with HKMA to perform the testing. And what we are going to do next, and hopefully we will help to facilitate the cashless and checkless model in the market, which also aligns with the ESG strategy in the financial industry. We look forward to working with HKMA and our peers to achieve greater success in the market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Law. Next, we're going to hear about a pilot use case on online and offline payments using the EHKD. This is jointly conducted by Standard Chartered and GND. Please welcome on stage Ms. Polly Boimler, Sales Director CBDC APAC of GND, and Mr. Gary Lau, Executive Director and Head of Digital Services and Open Banking of Standard Chartered.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary from Standard Chartered Bank.
And I'm Polly Boimler from Giesecke and Devrient.
First of all, thank you, HKMA, for selecting us as part of the EHKD pilot program. It's really an honor to be here and very excited to see all the different use cases we've seen today. So our use case is focused on offline EHKD and offline payment scenarios. Now that covers dual offline payments where both payer and payee are offline, and also hybrid situations, online and offline. Okay, but before I dive in, maybe Polly, you can explain why offline payment is so important.
Sure, thank you, Gary. So CBDC payments, as with all digital payments, inherently rely on network connection to function. But we must be prepared for exceptions, even in advanced economies such as Hong Kong. As such, offline payments is a must-have requirement for a CBDC. Payments is critical infrastructure. It must operate even when the lights go out. Hence, our use case will demonstrate that even when both the payer and the payee are offline, we can still make an EHKD transaction happen, just like cash today.
Thanks, Polly. So for EHKD to be a successful alternative to cash, we believe there are 3 key factors. It needs to be truly inclusive, so accessible to everyone. There shouldn't be any kind of barriers of entry, no matter for consumers or merchants, right? So whether it's lack of internet access, lack of power, or lack of high-tech devices. So our use case is focused on low-cost smart cards, everyday smartphones, to be able to securely conduct consecutive offline payments. Secondly, EHKD has to be robust and resilient. So there can't be a single point of failure, even in extreme situations, right? Power outages, system glitches, or even cyber attacks. These things happen and we need to be prepared for it. Especially this is where offline payments advantage comes in.
And underpinning all of this is, of course, security. And it can't depend on isolated factors. A truly reliable e-Hong Kong dollar must consider hardware, software, and procedural aspects for a holistic approach to security. Ensuring robust security is paramount in preserving the integrity of an EHKD, because ultimately, trust and confidence is the foundation of any currency.
Okay, so our use case is focused on highlighting these factors or unique values of EHKD. It has to be truly inclusive, no single point of failure, and also defense-grade security. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to be testing with merchants of various sizes, doing real transaction events, and also to test the robustness and security of offline payments, and also the considerations that we all need to take in terms of situations where there's multiple merchants at play or even multiple banks. And finally, we're going to look at exploring the programmability of EHKD and how it is impacted in offline or hybrid situations as well. So thank you very much. That concludes our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lau and Ms. Baumler. Now let us invite MasterCard, whose Vice President of Product Development, Mr. Ashok Venkateswaran, will talk about using an EHKD as a settlement instrument for Web3 transactions. Let's welcome Mr. Venkateswaran on stage.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Gave you a preview of the next up. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ashok Venkateswaran. I lead the blockchain and digital assets practice for MasterCard for APAC. It's a pleasure to be here today and present about our solution. Also, I got to wear a tie for the first time in 3 years, which is actually really cool. So I'm excited about that. So the blockchain ecosystem continues to evolve and change on a regular basis. And one of the biggest pain points we've heard from many of our customers is the ability to pay in this infrastructure. As these things change, we need a trusted environment for people to use for payment purposes. Now, MasterCard has been developing solutions in this space for the last 5 years. And in that time, we've got around 150 plus patents in the space across identity, around security, payment solutions, a number of different things. At the heart of it all, we are a payment technology company. As a result, what we are proposing for this particular use case is the ability for the e-Hong Kong dollar to be used across any ecosystem, public, private, permission, blockchain. So that will be the end goal, primarily because more and more people are using the blockchain technology to build e-commerce sites. So this allows you to actually spend in this Web3 environment and also unwrap it back into the original state of EHKD. So that's what we will demonstrate in our use case. And we have a couple of different players which we plan to use. Obviously, we're going to have the central bank, which is going to issue. We're going to have a financial institution, which is going to be the distribution point between the central bank and the customers. We'll have MasterCard, which will provide the technology associated with it. And eventually a marketplace where we will demonstrate a purchase of a digital good using e-Hong Kong dollar. Now, in addition to that, we will also demonstrate a technology which will allow you to only interact with those who are allowed to interact with the actual ecosystem. This will provide the additional security you need. So nowadays you don't really know who's the associated wallet. This will actually give you a lot more clarity on who you're sending money to and who you're receiving money from. So that's what we'll demonstrate over the next couple of months during our pilot. And we look forward to working with you. Hong Kong has always been the financial hub of APAC, and this particular project will make it more so. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Venkateswaran. We have now come to our two last presentations. We will hear two use cases on using an EHKD as a settlement instrument for tokenized assets. First, we will hear from Fubon Bank and Ripple Labs. Please welcome Mr. Brooks Entwistle, Senior Vice President and Managing Director at Ripple.
Well, you got a preview of our slides, but here we go. It is great to be here. Esteemed HKMA representatives, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brooks Entwistle. I am the Senior Vice President for the Global Customer Business at Ripple. I also look after our APAC region as well as our Middle East region. And together with our partners at Fubon Bank, we are very excited to be here to discuss the Ripple and Fubon Bank real estate tokenization solution. And we are super honored to be a part of this pilot. Thank you very much for having us. There we go. Equal time. I also wore a tie. There we go. We are all about the tokenization of real-world assets. And the notion of real estate asset tokenization and digital equity realization pilot leverages the e-Hong Kong dollar. The pilot combines EHKD, tokenized real estate, and finance lending protocols. What does that actually do? It allows users to tokenize real estate assets as collateral for loans and accelerates the use of that equity as collateral. The solution will leverage Ripple's CBDC platform, a secure, private, and permissioned ledger. Now, why is all this important? Every one of these presentations today has been about a use case. And at Ripple and at Fubon, from the very beginning with digital assets, we've been about real-world utility and real-world use cases. And for the notion of people who actually own a home and have that as one of their primary main assets in their total wealth portfolio, the possibility of that increasing in value over time is immensely important to both their current living as well as their retirement. However, unlocking this increase in equity has been very difficult over time and has considerable friction. Think about how costly this process can be. It's lengthy. It's oftentimes paper-based. We don't like paper. We're all about digital assets. By leveraging the power of Web3 technology such as the XRP Ledger and Ripple's CBDC platform, Hong Kong citizens can experience the release of equity faster and more efficiently. Commercial banks can also expect to benefit from a higher velocity of loan throughput and more flexible payments. There are many benefits to this pilot, and we're excited to get to work hard as we already have been over the next many months, but let me leave you with a couple of them. Here are some of the benefits. Decentralized finance. The EHKD unlocks the promise of decentralized finance, enabling the citizens of Hong Kong to participate in this growing global ecosystem and exciting ecosystem here in Hong Kong. Speed to value. Tokenization accelerates real estate value equity asset release and the EHKD unlocks this value. Conversion to collateral. Equity value can be used as collateral for loans. Again, the velocity of money. New loan value in CBDC. The equity from property can be used to create a new loan in the form of a CBDC. Instant loan grants. The CBDC digital loan can be quickly transferred to a digital wallet. And immediate use, most importantly. Property owners can use the digital loan or transfer it to fiat currency immediately. We are excited to be a part of this with our partners at Fubon. We are working hard. We're big believers in the tokenization of real-world assets, and we think that real estate and the tokenization of real estate in this project can be a winner for the citizens of Hong Kong and the world. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Mr. Entwistle. And last but not least, we will hear from a consortium led by HKT Payment, ZA Bank, and the Boston Consulting Group. Let's welcome Mr. Saurabh Tripathi, Managing Director and Senior Partner of the Boston Consulting Group, on stage.
Thank you. Very good afternoon, and it is a great honor to stand here to represent a consortium. Firstly, we'd like to thank HKMA for giving us the opportunity to participate as a consortium in this very, very visionary and promising initiative. And we are all very passionate about it as to how we can create a pilot which can experiment and test the feasibility of EHKD, or a possible form of EHKD, which can unlock economic growth as well as sustainability and inclusion. So I'm standing here actually representing a consortium. This consortium has multiple members. We are very proud to be a part of this consortium because we bring multiple different capabilities which we believe are required and also experience from across the world in similar experiments in order to create a framework, to create, to check the possibility of the EHKD version, which leads to economic growth, better economic growth. How can EHKD lead to better economic growth, financial inclusion, and sustainability? Now, we are going to design the experiment so that we basically leverage the three core differentiating features of CBDC: programmability, resiliency, and instant settlement. And how can we use this in the space of credit? We all know how credit is so powerful in actually turbocharging the economic cycle. And what role will EHKD play in credit of the future? And so the idea here is to see whether in secured lending solutions we can create, or we can experiment with 4 different features. Purpose-bound money, so that when the loan is given, the lenders know which purpose the loan is going to be used for, and that increases the quality of lending, that reduces the risk, and we can actually ensure that the money that is lent is used for the purpose for which it has been lent. Proactive alerts. If the money is diverted, and this happens quite often, if the money is diverted for some other use case which is not anticipated, it can alert the lenders. How we can use tokenized assets as collateral to further facilitate better lending. And we know a lot of assets out there are not fully leveraged by folks to get better credit. So we are going to experiment with it as to whether the fact that we can have instant settlement between a tokenized asset and CBDC can create much, much better user experience when it comes to collateralized lending. And of course, this service through this approach will be 24/7 available instead of being time-bound as it is today. So we are really, really excited. We believe that this can actually revolutionize the world of banking and actually provide much, much better access to credit, quality credit, and much safer, much lower cost to the borrowers. Thank you very much. We are really excited, and we hope that we can make a big difference.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tripathi. Now let's give another round of applause to all our speakers, please. I'm sure that these presentations allowed everyone to better understand the importance of the EHKD pilot program and how the use cases will help the HKMA to better evaluate the benefits of an EHKD. In the coming months, we will be working together and very closely with the industry partners, so please stay tuned to hear more about our progresses. This concludes the event for today, and thank you to everyone for joining us. Have a great evening.